Hi guys, Etsu here, and this will be my Elemental Shaman PvP guide. Don't you worry, it will not be as long as my Enhancement Shaman guide, but I still try to cover like some very detailed stuff. But if you just want to look at my add-ons, for example, I will leave this part only to my Enhancement Shaman guide. But here, like since a lot of people asked me about my UI, I will do this part here a little bit more detailed. So yeah, that's it. And let's get started. So here we are. And as per usual, I want to start with my talent tree first. So opening up my talent tree, I actually want to begin with like showing you that I use two different builds right now. So one build is like without pets, like without elementals, and the other one is with elementals. So the main difference between those two builds is like the elemental build is heavily revolving around burst damage, and the other build, the no pet build, is revolving around like way more consistent damage. I know, I mean, in the first glance, if you take a look at the spec tree, you see that I don't even spec into Ascendance, right? Like, it's absolutely insane. Why would you do this? There are two reasons. So reason number one is it's heavily nerfed in PvP, down from 75% to 25%, but still it's amazing. I mean, you cast another overload, so it's good. It's amazing. For one talent point, it's a must pick. But I'm just trying to, like, reason number two is I think like if people like hear or see Ascendance, they instantly pop death cooldowns, and not using Ascendance is surprisingly good, like strategic wise. So people wait for you to use your Ascendance, and they don't pop death cooldowns if you don't pop Ascendance sometimes. So it's interesting. So I'm still trying out here, but yeah, again, like not spending one talent point here is quite insane. I mean, you kind of have to because the damage output is quite high with your Ascendance. But yeah, as it is right now, I'm still trying. And this talent tree right now feels great. So I just want to go quickly over a few talent choices I made. Because in general, I think it's so much harder as an elemental in the class tree to choose from compared to enhancement. And it's so hard because you have to kind of pick Spiritwalker's Grace, since it gives you like kick immunity for 5 seconds, which is a banger. It's so good. And you also have to take your Nature's Swiftness, so 3 talent points you have to invest in, so you lose them on other sides. So but you have a few flex talents still, like for example your Chain Lightning. You don't spec it in the arena, why would you? But in Battlegrounds it's just a good generator, and also like a damage dealing tool as well. So for Battlegrounds, in teamfights, like this is a must pick in my opinion, and it also looks amazing. I love the visuals about Chain Lightning. But if it comes to arena, I would go out here and invest this point, like either in a Tremor Totem for sure, or maybe in more mobility. So you have choices. You could even go for your Earth Elemental, but it only makes sense if you go for your Primordially Bound 2. I mean, you have different choices. You could still like go for the reduced cooldown on your healing stream or your Earth Grip Totem, also very good. Or even like the bigger range on your root, for example, and your stun. So there are plenty of good choices you have. And as it is, I'm sticking with this here, like for most scenarios. When it comes to your hero trees, I think Farseer is way more superior. And there are like two main reasons. Reason number one is like, where is it? This talent here, Maelstrom Supremacy. Hard to pronounce for me, since it increases like your healing surge healing by 25%, which is a massive deal. And also like the biggest reason I would say is this talent here, which is called Natural Harmony. And what it does is it increases your already busted Nature's Guardian like even more. So now it is a 30-second cooldown and it heals you for 60% max health, which is absolutely nuts. It's so OP right now. I'm pretty sure we will nerf it, but still, it's so good. And even if they nerf this one, like completely, Earth and Communion is pretty good as well, combined with your reactive warding here in the class tree. So you have choices. And what also is pretty cool about Farseer is that your ancestors, since I use Heed My Call, which is amazing for Shaman, and I also choose Latent Wisdom, so I have way more control over my ancestors. So either if I press my Stormbringer and my Stormkeeper, sorry, or my Ancestral Swiftness, I summon them, and I can use them offensively and defensively. Like offensively, of course, if I deal damage, they deal damage. But defensively, like if I heal myself, they heal me too. So if I press, for example, my Ancestral Swiftness, I summon my Ancestor here, and if I heal myself, they heal me too. For a decent amount, like each heal. Which is awesome. It's so good. It can crit as well. So I think overall, Farseer is like way better. The only thing that goes for Stormbringer is its like burst capability. So the burst damage is even higher, I think, than Farseer right now. But it's also very RNG heavy. So I mean, it's still good. It's still good. So you can use it. It's not like it's not viable, but I think overall Farseer is way better. Especially like if you want to play open world PvP, for example. Farseer is way better, like alone for the healing component here. When it comes to arena though, I think Stormbringer can be pretty good. So having a 3% damage reduction like at all times is quite nice, and the Tempest damage is huge. So you have a huge burst capability. So yeah, both are viable, but I prefer Farseer for sure. And yeah, when it comes to the spec tree, I mean, there's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can tweak. But I myself, I really prefer like the fire and earth fantasy. So I spec into all my fire damage, because like overall, if I look at my damage meter and attacking like a target enemy for 2 minutes, like Lava Burst is and will always be like your #1 damage source. So speccing more into your fire damage is just good. And the other thing, which is kind of surprising, that your spender, your Earth Shock, can crit for over 100k. So this is so good. So I spend a lot of talents to increase your Earth Shock damage. Again, Farseer, you increase your Earth Shock damage again for 25%. Massive deal here. Here again, like 8% more nature damage, since this isn't nature damage. Here again, like 8% more Earth Shock damage. So it all adds up, and it's instant. It has a reduced cost here with Eye of the Storm, and it also can trigger your Elemental Overload. So this is so good. So this build revolves around using your Lava Burst and your Earth Shock as much as possible. One of the biggest issues Elemental has is like being trained and not being able to deal damage. So speccing fully into Lava Burst and Earth Shock opens up like way more consistent damage, since both are most of the time instant. I mean, Earth Shock always is instant, and Lava Burst, since you play again Farseer, which also increases your chance to get your instant Lava Burst proc, is amazing. It's also good. Here it is, yeah. It increases your Lava Surge proc chance by 20%. So this is a good deal. And the other spec, my pet spec, just revolves around like summoning elementals, and both deal tons of damage, like the storm elemental, but your fire elemental, it deals massive damage. So if you are looking for burst, this is the build you're looking for. Yes, you can debate this choice here. So either you pick the 2-minute cooldown Ascendance, or you go for the 3-minute cooldown, but having like 20% more haste, which is so good. And longer duration, but the haste part is pretty awesome. Like if you're looking for the biggest burst possible, I think this is the build. But yeah, you can debate like either having it more often, like every 2 minutes, or having a just bigger burst window, but with a 3-minute cooldown. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like the Apex talents are just locked in. They just increase your output. Like nothing special, nothing to play around here. Very straightforward. And since it even like gives a even higher crit synergy, I think it's even more worth to go for a little bit of crit. So again, at least I would say 15%. So talking about stats, we can just jump into stats here. I kind of go for the same stats I go for Enhancement Shaman. So I will go for main stat haste. I will try to play with 15% crit rate and maybe go like later on this season or in season 2 I will go for 20% crit. But I know like crit is nerfed, but your whole kit revolves around crit, so and your heals can crit as well. So this is something I really enjoy offensively and defensively. But again, like haste is your most desired stat, since it just reduces your global cooldown and you have a lot of buttons to spam. And then versatility is your go-to. Like getting reduced damage, having more healing, and like dealing more damage at the same time with one stat it's just too good. Yeah, that's it about stats, I think. Like nothing special. The same stats I also go for my Enhancement Shaman. Moving on with wait a minute. PvP talents. PvP talents, yes. You could play differently. And again, like in my opinion, like Shaman talents, like it doesn't matter like if it's the class tree or the PvP talents, they're just so good and so hard to choose from. I mean, you can like if you play Shuffle, for example, you face a ton of different team setups, so you can just adjust. Sometimes it's really useful to have your lasso, another interruption tool, or your burrow if you know you're getting trained. Man, you can do a lot of stuff here, but these three are my baseline choices for especially for open world PvP. So I have a tool against melees and I also have a tool against range DPS. And yeah, Shamanism I think is like a locked in spell. Like having a 1-minute cooldown on 20% haste is so good, and even like affects a friendly target as well. So for arena it's a must pick. It's so strong. Yeah, that's it I think. When it comes to macros, I use the same macros I use with my Enhancement Shaman. So if you want to take a closer look here, please feel free to check them out on my Enhancement Shaman guide. So the only macro I use here different is my burst macro, which only is my on-use trinket and my bloodlust combined. Like that's it. And if I play with Ascendance, I just add Ascendance here. So that's it. Yeah, nothing else to talk about here. But this time, I want to talk about my UI, since a lot of people ask about it. So I will share my link again. Like how I do it is I press my escape button, I go into my edit mode, and this is my profile, and I can just share it here. So I can just copy the link and I will put it into my description so you can just copy the whole thing here. Hopefully it works. It seemed like it doesn't work for some people, so I'm not sure what to do, what else to do. So feel free to leave a comment here, please. So I just want to help you out here. But basically, like the only thing I did here is like activating like 3 action bars, 1, 2, and 3. Here are the settings. So I just use like 10 buttons here. The icon size is 140%, and the icon padding is set to 5. So that's it. Like I have the same setting here for all 3 action bars. I have my target and my target and my player frame here activated, both on 150% frame size. What else do I have? This is what I have set up here with the whole edit mode. So this is, you can just take a quick look here. This is all I have activated. Maybe you have to activate something here. Not sure what it does if you like copy and paste the string here. If it's like keeping all the settings here, don't know. But yeah, feel free to ask questions here, please. I'm happy to answer. And the other thing is here my cooldown manager, and I only use it for the track buffs. So I go into my track buffs here, this little window. I go into my advanced settings. Whoops. And here we have like the cooldown manager, and the only thing I use here from the cooldown manager is the buff section. So I track these 3 buffs as elemental, and for enhancement shaman it's even 5 buffs I think right now. So I just want to see if I have a searching proc. So I can see it here above my player icon. I want to see how long my ancestors lasts, and I just want to see like my AoE lava burst proc. I could add like my defensive tools again here. For example, I want to see the duration I have with my ancestral swift, and I could also add maybe the duration for my ascendance if I go for it. So yeah, this is the only things I would track. Yeah, that's it. Maybe the duration of Spiritwalker's Grace sometimes could be very good to know. But yeah, that's it. Whoops. So I hope this is helpful. So please again, feel free to ask questions here. I try to support as much as I can. And lastly, I want to show you some awesome tips and tricks for your element shaman, especially against mini DPS specs, since they are usually like the biggest threat. So for this, I want you to imagine like the following scenario. Let's say this target dummy here is a warrior, okay? And a warrior usually has like 2 charges and 1 leap to get to you. So a decent amount of possibilities. So let's just say he charges you right now. So he charges you, and what a warrior usually does is he snares you as well. So charge and snare, and now you have a few options. So you could either thunderstorm him away, you could root him, or you could even static field totem him away. So, or using like your sprint, whatever. Like these are 3 examples. Let's just say we are going to root the warrior. I think this is the best choice you have. Just use this one on cooldown, because this has a very low cooldown as well. So only 30-second cooldown. So I am rooting the warrior now and start running. I don't use like my ghost wolf form initially, and this is due to my talent here. Like if I use my wolf form like already, I use this proc here. Sure, I get distance, and I also get rid of my snare, but I know he already he still has his second charge and his leap. So I don't want to waste this one initially. So, and since I know he's rooted here for at least 6 seconds, I can just get distance here, like even being snared. So I get some distance, and now what usually a warrior does is he casts Bladestorm to get out of the root. So he like you only gained a few meters distance, and he's starting to use his Bladestorm, right? So now he gets out of his snare and root and has like the normal movement speed and Bladestorm. And now I will use my wolf form to get like the movement speed boost, and since like my wolf form gives me more movement speed like in general, I can like outrange the range of the Bladestorm already. So right now, I'm in a scenario where I have still distance, and the warrior is forced to charge again. So he charges me again, and now I could, like, for example, thunderstorm him away, and now he can leap at me again. So the warrior just leaps at you and used like all his mobility tools. And now what he could do is, like, since your Earthquake Totem is still up, it has a 20-second duration, which is so long. You could, like, for example, just totemic projection. So let's say your totem was here at the beginning, it's still up, and you can just teleport it here with your totemic projection. So he's near 2, and now you could, for example, use your Windrush Totem to just instantly get away, and he's bye-bye. He can't do anything. If he's fast enough, he could fear you if you're still in range. But that's it. Like, there's nothing else he can do. And you still have, like, your static field totem to static field him away, and you can also project him away. And since this totemic projection spell has no global cooldown, you can be very quick with your combinations here. And for example, if you have your slow totem here, your earthquake totem or your root totem, and you first, let's say you, I mean now it's on cooldown, if you Windrush totem here right now, and you press your totemic projection after this one, like I instantly cast my Windrush totem, and in the same second I could even macro this one in theory. I could cast my totemic projection again, so it always projects all totems which are active. Since my Earthcrab totem was still active, it will totemic projection this totem as well. Like, it will do this one for both, for my Windrush totem and my Earthcrab totem, which is amazing. So you can do like awesome plays here. So it's quite easy for you to kite a warrior, for example. Again, like, you still had your static field totem, and by the time your snare break is ready again for your Ghost War form, and your Thunderstorm is ready, like, it's so strong, and you can just move around your snare and your root totem as well. So you have plenty of tools to kite melees. You could also, like, again, stun them, of course, because they will stun you too, of course. But overall, like, you have a very decent and good kiting ability, especially, like, not even like in 1-on-1 scenarios. You could do such shenanigans against like a group of players, especially like in Battlegrounds. If you like Battlegrounds and rated Battlegrounds, you could have major impact in team fights with your static field totem. So let's say this is like the melee camp. You could just cage the whole melee camp and instantly, like, since this is not on global cooldown, move them like out of your healer or range DPS camp. So this can change the whole flow of a battle, and it's so awesome. Like, this is very unique to Shaman, and they have just 6 tools. What I love to do on Elemental is, for example, let's say I have a storm, right? So you can just catch a lot of people here with static field totem, right? Port them to you, and then thunderstorm them away, which is it's so sick. It's so good. So most of the time I just walk here in the middle of the Eye of the Storm, and healers are just on a safe range, right? So I grab like two to 3 healers, pull them to me, and just send them away. And this is something, it's so game changing. It makes and breaks the game. It's so strong. So yeah, this is why Shaman in general is so good in teamfights, in my opinion. You have so much impact. You have an AoE root, an AoE stun. You have like grounding to soak up certain spells. It's so good. It's so good. Windrush totem for the whole group. So this is a very team-based spec. But all the utility you can use for your team, you can also just use for yourself, and it's still so good. What else do I do? I mean, I try to hex. Like, since hex has only 15 seconds cooldown, I try to hex as much as I can. So let's say I face a Red Paladin. Like, Red Paladin, for example, if he pops rings, I just try to CC him. there are two ways I handle red paladins, for example. I like either if I have trinket left and my wall left, if I press my wall, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. I can easily heal against the damage. But if not, I just static him away, right? And start hex. Like, there's nothing he can do. Like, I'm out of his stun range and I'm out of his blind range, so it's a free cast on my hex on a red paladin, for example. And this is working against most melees. So you can just cancel their burst every 50 seconds. And also, like, the snare, the 70% snare is so good. So this is a very locked in talent for me, especially in the arena, of course. But even outside of the arena, in 1-on-1 scenarios, it's so good. You can reset. Talking about surviving, one of your biggest survival tools is your healing. Your healing surge is healing you for quite a lot. Like, let me just tag me in PvP. So I heal myself for 55k, non-crit, 80k crit, which is so good. I don't even have buffs out yet. So now with Earth Shield should increase my healing by 20%. So let's just take a look here. I heal myself now. Yeah, 67k. It's amazing. Now I'm again not flagged. Now I'm flagged again. Yeah, 66k. And about 100k crit, yeah, it is. So it's super high. So what I do is I try to heal me as much as possible. Like, if I'm below 70% health as an elemental shaman, I try to heal myself. It has so much value. Like, it's kind of like, if you think about it trading wise, so you cast a spell which in theory like kind of deals 60 damage or your 60k damage. So your enemy has to deal 60k damage again in order to get you to the same place, just with one cast. So instead of casting, for example, Lightning Bolt for the same cast duration, and the damage I would deal would be maybe 20k, it's so much more efficient to heal yourself for 60k for the triple amount, because the enemy has to deal the same damage again to you, like just math-wise. So I try to heal myself as much as I can. I hope this makes sense. My English isn't too great, I know. So please feel free to ask here, because because I think this is a major part for Elemental Shaman, for the survivability, and also like how you trade in duels. Like, I always try to heal myself as much as possible. And I also try to keep up my healing stream totem, since this is instant and it ticks 10 times, or even 11 times if I spec into totemic focus. So 10 times equals, how much does it here right now? I don't even see it. What? Okay, this is this is not right. It's not 100k. It's about 5k each tick. So it's a 50k heal instantly for free. And it's also a smart heal, which also heals your teammates. So it's also good. Try to hold this one on cooldown. Ali, like against casters, you are super strong. You are super strong. You have your grounding totem every 30 seconds to cancel their burst, for example. It's so strong. You only have a 12-second cooldown on your kick, so you can interrupt very consistently. Again, you can just heal against most of the damage you get. You can even kite behind pillars, because you are very mobile as a caster, which is super unique. I mean, there are a few casters which are also very mobile, but I think Wolfform is very underestimated. It's also good as a range DPS to have this tool, so to have this kind of mobility. Like, even if you are being snared, if the enemy is snared by the same amount, you have just more mobility, so you can just outwalk them every time. So a warrior will have a tough time to stick to you in the arena, and oftentimes it's way better to just run and kite and just play around your burst, so you don't try to deal that much consistent damage. Sometimes it depends on the situation, of course, but most of the time you just jump around, you move around, you jump around, use your instant lava burst procs, try to hold your Vortex Blaze on cooldown. So right now it has 7.5 seconds, but if I'm in PvP combat, it should be 6 seconds. Yeah, it's 6 seconds in PvP combat. So I try to hold this one on cooldown, and just try to spam my Lava Burst procs and my Earthshock instant, so you have a good amount of spells to cast instant. And when it comes to the burst damage, so even without playing Ascendance, okay, so I'm using the non-Ascendance build right now for the showcase. I don't use those macros anymore. I don't need them. So how I burst is I always try to cast my Stormkeeper behind a pillar to not get interrupted on it. So I cast my Stormkeeper, and then I instantly cast my Voltaic Blaze. And now I could like spend my Lightning Bolts, but never do this. Like, always start with your Ancestral Swiftness, press it, and it summons your second Ancestor. So one Ancestor is summoned by your Call of Ancestors here on the hero tree by casting Stormkeeper, and the other one is casted by casting Ancestral Swiftness. So you always want to have up your two Ancestors before you deal damage, and because they deal a bunch of damage by themselves, and they always deal damage when you deal damage. So what you do, again, you start with Voltaic Blaze into your Ancestral Swiftness after you cast the Stormkeeper, and then always cast Lava Burst first, and then your two Lightning Bolts. You will get 3 once you have like the 4-piece set bonus. So you have like your whole burst is so instant. It's so strong. So you open up with an instant cast of Lava Burst. You cast 3 times Lightning Bolt, and most of the time you get a proc with your Lava Burst. So you use this one as well. And to finish this one up, you just since you generate a lot of Maelstrom, you just end it with your Earthshock. So this is a very quick window with a lot of damage. No Ascendance needed here. So this is a very low cooldown as well. Kinda a 30-second cooldown, more than a 45-second cooldown, since you can reduce the cooldown of Stormkeeper, or it reduces like automatically. And this is due to this talent here, like Offering from Beyond. Like every time you cast an Ancestor, it reduces the cooldown of your Stormkeeper. And since you have 2 ways to guarantee a summoning, one is Stormkeeper and the other one is Ancestral Swiftness. So you already have a 6-second cooldown reduction on your Stormkeeper. Another way to reduce the cooldown here is with Herald of the Storms. I really prefer this one. So I have a 39-second cooldown on Stormkeeper and a 30-second cooldown on Ancestral Swiftness, which is it's so good. Like, these are my big damage go windows. So I always just try to use my totems to heal, to kite, and just play around my 30-second damage windows. And in between, I just try to use my Lava Burst procs and to stall a little bit of Maelstrom for my next burst, and in between using sometimes Earthshock because it can crit big times with this build here. Yeah, as I said, like my whole build here revolves around my Earthshock damage and my Lava Burst damage, which are my biggest 2 damage resources. So yeah, this is pretty much it. This is the end of the guide, I think. So I hope you liked it. I hope you learned a little bit of it. I know I haven't talked about everything, but I think this is a decent little guide to just hop on your elemental and to try to figure out stuff. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to share anything in the comments. I really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking the time, and see you next time. Bye bye.